When you feel fear winning out over love, go to the Jesus app. You might be afraid of rejection, afraid of insignificance, afraid of losing money, afraid of bodily harm. I know I'm afraid of all of those things. He says in verse 55 of our text, my flesh is the true food and my blood is the true drink. Consuming God is the answer. Jesus is trying to get their minds onto this soul food. I'm not talking about the chicken dinners with mac and cheese on the side and collard greens, y'all. That's not what we're talking about. He's trying to get their minds onto the soul food. I'm talking about food for the soul where you're consuming God, where you're taking in God in such a way that you become so close with God, that you become so in tune with God, so in sync with God, so in line with God that your soul just begins to flourish. Demographers estimate that 109 billion people have died since the course of human history began. How can our souls win over such a prolific foe? Oh, I didn't think I was going to be able to get over it when my mother passed. And I was grieving way past the acceptable time. Don't you know, God's grace, God's prevenient grace touched my soul even in the darkness. I was in church where I began to see a sliver of hope. A ray of light began to pierce the dark night, and I'll never forget it. I wasn't saved, but I know I was supposed to go to church. I somehow knew that, and so I went to church, taking communion there on the first Sunday. And as they were taking communion, the people broke out into a song, and it was a familiar song to me, and so I joined in the singing. And in the singing of that song, my soul cried out to God for mercy. Let us break bread together on our knees. Let us break bread together on our knees. And then they said this. When I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun, oh Lord, have mercy on me.